Welcome to the Side Hustlepreneur podcast, where business, faith, and inspiration connect to all things side hustle related. My name is Faye, aka the Side Hustlepreneur, and I created this platform for everyday individuals like you to learn how to monetize your God-given skills and talents. So gather around, turn up the volumes, and let's get started. What's going on, Side Hustle family? Faye here, aka the Side Hustlepreneur, and I'm officially back. It has been a long time and a good minute. I haven't posted a podcast episode since early 2021, and it is 2023. So with that being said, Happy New Year, Merry belated Christmas, and all the other formalities that, we've probably missed during this time. Life has been laughing, okay? A lot has been going on, and I've missed you guys a lot. I've missed being able to connect with you guys. I've missed being able to share what I've been learning and just share gems like concerning side hustling. I've missed being able to interview people and hear about their stories. I've missed everything, but I'm so excited to finally be trying to get back into the flow of things. And I say getting back into the flow of things because I got kids, y'all. And if you got kids, you know that life be throwing you some curveballs. And while you'll be thinking that you're doing one thing, the next thing you know, you're going in the opposite direction. So we're going to see how this goes. But anywho, I'm so excited because this season, we're actually trying something different. If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, I am now on YouTube. I have gone down the direction of trying to do this video thing. So we're going to see how this goes. But I'm now on YouTube, so you can catch the video aspect of this as well. But aside from that, I'm sure you guys are wondering, that's great and all, but sis, where have you been? And we're going to talk about it in this episode. So I guess we might as well just go ahead and jump right on into it. So let's talk about it. Now, in the last year alone, outside of podcasting, I decided to take a break from just all things related to business and the Side Hustlepreneur brand as a whole. And that's for a few reasons. One of them being my lack of interest in social media, to be honest. And the other one being just a lot going on the personal side. So for starters, I took a break from posting business content on Instagram towards the end of 2021. Per usual, it was supposed to be one of my typical 1 month, off to just connect with God and, just for the sake of my mental health. But 1 month became 2 months and 2 months became 3 months. And I decided that, I'm going to return when I truly feel like returning. For so long, I had gotten so caught up in the feeling like I needed to post regularly and, feeling like if I took a break, it couldn't be too long because of the social media algorithms, right? And at some point, I just had this aha moment where I had to remind myself that this is not a me thing, this is a God thing. And no matter how long of a break I decided to take, the opportunity to connect with people and to work with clients will always be there as long as God allows it. Even if I go offline for a long period of time, it's no secret that social media has felt like more of a job than fun for a lot of entrepreneurs. And especially for those of us who have been on social media since its inception, we've gone from just posting on social media, our regular day-to-day life to, curated Instagram feeds to, people being a guru of some sort to folks dancing on camera to share messages. which is weird and, just a lot these days. And then when you now take the aspect of the entrepreneur side of business, if you don't have a team, you've now gone from being this person who just wants to share your business to now having to be this like marketer and this videographer and this content creator. And honestly, that's just a lot for one person. Now, speaking for me personally, although I actually enjoy creating like content and, sharing messages and, all of that, it doesn't take the stress away from having to show up regularly, which is why I take, breaks every now and then. So anyway, with that mindset of knowing that this is not a me thing, but this is like a God thing, I didn't really stress myself out about returning. Like, I instead utilize the time to really just focus on my day-to-day life offline, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually really enjoyed not having to think about anything business related. I enjoy just being consumed with whatever is going on a day-to-day basis without having to think about, oh, how am I going to show up on, Instagram? And I enjoyed it until I felt mentally ready to get back to what I was doing. And even in me being ready to return, the other areas of my life had me a little tied up and busy, let's be honest. So early last year, my husband and I, we decided that we were going to purchase our first home. And so with that, because we were buying a new construction home, it required a lot of money up front and a lot of money for the closing costs. And so because we had to like save up and all this stuff, and both of us were working from home, we both agreed that we would temporarily work 2 jobs to expedite our savings. And y'all, let me tell you, doing that for 1 year alone, although there was an end goal to it, yes, that probably had the biggest impact on my mental. Doing that on top of raising a toddler, it really limited the time that I had to be able to do creative work. And your girl was tired. Then on top of that, towards the end of 2021, I found out that I was pregnant. And so I just recently had another kid. And all of that to say that overall life has been really busy. It's been great. Don't get me wrong. Like on the personal thing, life, this 2022 year, God really showed up in our lives in so many different ways. And so I'm truly grateful, but it doesn't take away from a lot that has been going on. And so it's taken a lot of prayer. It's taken a lot of discipline. And to be very honest, it's taken a lot of encouragement from mainly my mother and my husband to get back into this zone. And I'm happy to finally be able to be at a point where I can refocus and truly enjoy things that I enjoy at my core. And that's my overall goal this year for myself. It's really to just enjoy what I love doing at my core in every area of my life. And truthfully, some of y'all may be feeling the same way. Maybe you're tapped out from the whole pandemic. Maybe life has really been lifing and throwing a lot of lemons at you. Or maybe you're just completely tired of the whole social media thing. Maybe that's just blowing you. And trust me, I get it. And if you've been on a long time break like I have been, and you have a side hustle or a business and you've just been a little bit MIA and you feel like, dang, like I don't know if I can ever return. Let me tell you, it takes work, but you can absolutely return. And, with intentionality, you can get back to where you used to be and even exceed where you used to be. So you guys know that I don't come on this podcast just to talk, but, I love to be able to give some type of tips and share what I've been doing, what has worked for me, in hopes that it can work for you or give you some spark of, idea on how it can work, on what you can do to kind of get yourself back to where you need to be. So here's what I've been doing to get back to putting myself and pushing myself back into what I call my zone of genius. So number one, I started prepping my mind mentally by reading business books and listening to old podcasts that I used to. So one of the things, like I mentioned, I had really disconnected completely from the business scene as a whole. So there were no self-help books, no courses, none of that. When I decided that I wanted to ease myself back into starting up again, I picked up some old books. I started watching podcasters that I used to watch, the podcasters that I used to listen to. I read about people's business journeys to kind of reignite my inspiration for business. I just really immersed myself back into the space so that I would find some type of motivation and inspiration to start preparing myself to get back into not only podcasting, but just get back into running the business again as usual. Number two, I actually listened to my old podcast episode. So this point goes back into the first point about reconnecting in the business space. Being disconnected for so long, to be honest, it really took a hit on my confidence. And because I wasn't using my creative brain for so long, the flow that I had at one point, it felt like a weakened muscle that really needed strengthening. Or it is a weakened muscle that needs strengthening. And so listening to my old episodes, it really helped ignite the fire in me. And it reminded me of who I am and what I'm capable of. And it reminded me that I'm that girl, okay? Like, you got this. You can really do this. And I encourage that for a lot of you to just kind of look back on the things that you've done in the past to remind yourself of who you are. So number three, one of the final things that I did was I actually joined a group that allowed me to be surrounded around business women. So I'm a firm believer that who you surround yourself with, the conversations that you're having, I believe are one of the keys to success. And so once I made a decision to get back to business, I connected with the women's business group that I knew would not just, grant me inspiration around, being around these type of women, and help me grow. But I knew that they would hold me accountable to my desires and my goals for my business. So that has been really helpful in just being surrounded by women and actually connecting and talking to women who are in different and similar spaces as me. So everything I've been doing, it's required intentionality and discipline. And with this podcast in particular, I am so excited for what will happen in this new year. It's no secret that with the Side Hustlepreneur brand, I am a firm believer that everyone should have multiple streams of income. I don't care if you're making $500 or $5,000 a month. It don't matter. There needs to be at least one thing that is helping you generate cash outside of your 9-to-5, period. And that's why the Side Hustlepreneur brand exists. It exists so that it can help women package their skills into a revenue generating side hustle. That's all. This season, my goal is not to just, share tips and strategies on how to build your own side hustle from scratch. I recognize that, there's a lot of people who they want to have multiple streams of income, but maybe you're not necessarily interested in being a business owner. And that's okay, because one, everybody don't need to be a entrepreneur, and everyone doesn't necessarily want to turn their skills into income. So I'm so excited to, in this season, be bringing in people who can share their journey about the skills that they've acquired to generate cash without necessarily having to work with a clientele base. Because like I said, not everyone wants to work with people. Not everyone wants to have a business. Not everybody wants to do B2B or B2C type of work. Some people just want to be able to make money, but want to know what are some other options that are out there. And I'm excited to be able to kind of share, have people who will be on the podcast who will be willing to share like some of the ways that they've made money that haven't required that type of business. So Side Hustle fam, I am looking forward to reconnecting with you guys. I am looking forward to this season. I'm looking forward to this year. As always, shoot me an email on your thoughts on what you'd like to hear, on feedback. DM me on Instagram, letting me know how I can be of assistance to you. What would you like to hear from me this year? Who would you like for me to interview? The DMs are always open at The Side Hustlepreneur on Instagram. So I look forward to hearing from you. But until next time, toodles. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Side Hustlepreneur podcast. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to rate and review the podcast. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? To keep up with me outside of the podcast, you can follow me on Instagram at The Side Hustle Podcast. Or you can join the Side Hustle family by subscribing to my weekly newsletter at thesidehustlepreneur.com. See you next time.